Hey guys, Hoof Nerd here. It's a nice crispy winter day in Central Nevada, and we've got a Mustang ready to redeem the pedicure gift card she got for Christmas this year. Let's get after it. So this mare's a long-term client of mine. I've known her since she was a weanling when she first got gathered off the Stone Cabin HMA here in Central Nevada. She is going to be 10 this year, so we've been buddies for a long time. She is metabolic, Mustangs, and she has foundered twice, so our trim is going to reflect that. So she is sound right now and her feet are in fantastic shape, but we still trim just in cases, and with the knowledge that she has foundered and it has a little bit of rotation. So it's been about 8 or 9 weeks since her last trim. So, but she's been getting out and about riding with her people for the last little bit, so her feet aren't actually terribly long. Also, with it being wintertime, they're just growing a little bit slower anyway. So you can see here, she's got a little tiny ridge of sole right here around her toe. That is pretty consistent for her. All of her bruising from that founder episode has grown out, thankfully. But we still have a handful of signs in a couple places that she's got that rotation. So mostly in the growth of her heels. So you can also see that her heels right here, the wall is longer in the heels than it is in her toe. So, which is a classic growth pattern on foundered hooves. So, but she's got nice healthy frogs. Get those cleaned up. A little bit tattery. Shedding just a little bit. Get those grooves cleaned out so that they're not holding on to a bunch of manure. All right, and then her feet might be soft enough. We might be able to trim these bars with a hoof knife. Hasn't been real wet out here yet this winter, but wet enough. So what we do for her, to make sure that the back end of her foot is nice and comfy for her to walk on, is we trim that hoof wall just a hair bit above sole level back there. We'll take down the rest of it with our rasp here in a minute. And then we work our way around. We put a nice bevel on her feet because she, in spite of the founder, because she's a Mustang, she's got some really lovely solid feet. So really the rotation that she's got in that coffin bone is about the only thing that tells you that she had any founder problems at all. So we'll build our bevel with our nippers as much as possible so we don't have to use our rasp because that takes longer. So we're just trimming through that outside hoof wall there, just the colored bit. We'll leave her the white bit and some of the black. We'll take our rasp, take a nice little sight. So, and you can see just kind of the way she grows. This side's a little bit more straight up and down, and this one kind of wants to scoot out underneath her. So the way we bevel, we'll take that into account as well. So I like to rasp the back end of her frog, get that periopal off of there. And then we'll level those heels out. And then we'll give them some nice soft curves. So it doesn't lower her heel height at all, but it helps make that profile just a little bit nicer for her to land on when she's walking. So since this side wants to kind of go out this way, our bevel's going to be a little bit stronger right there. And then we'll put a little bit of extra bevel through the toe. We'll stay pretty straight over here on this side because we don't want to encourage that side to move any further underneath her. Get that bevel polished up. Round off those edges just a little bit. And then we'll come back in with our knife. Clean up these bars just a little bit more. Smooth them out. Make that contour a little smoother. There's one. All right. Get this tail tied up. Just helps keep it out of our way. And fortunately for her, unfortunately for me, she's got a beautiful tail. All right, hind foot. We're going to trim these chestnuts too while we're here. She's going to readjust for me just a little bit. Can I borrow this one? Thank you, ma'am. This one leans a bit to the inside as well. All of her feet are that way. That's just kind of conformationally how she's built. And you can see that lean, or I guess that conformational aspect to her. But like you can see how the foot, the entire foot kind of wants to shift to the inside. So even the frog leans a little bit to that side. It gets kind of squashed over. Bar number 1, bar number 2. She just has the tiniest little ridge of sole back here. Almost can't even see that guy. Alrighty. Same deal. So we didn't have any founder in her back feet. Thankfully, we only had it in the fronts. But, so we don't have to trim any extra heel. We don't have to bevel her toe real hard back here. This is just a nice little standard baby trim. We're just taking that hoof wall down to sole level. Oops, let's do our bevel. Oh, thank you so much. Her feet are so solid, in spite of the little bit of moisture we've had, and her home being, you know, a little bit damp for the last few weeks. Hoof wall is still nice and hard. So same thing on this foot like we did with the front foot. We'll put a little bit of a steeper bevel on this inside edge of her foot because it wants to kind of slide to the inside. And we'll keep it relatively flat over here on the outside and just put a bevel on there so that it doesn't chip off. Trim that little spot right there on her heel. Make that nice and round and comfy. Come back in with our hoof knife. We'll clean this corner up just a little bit because it's a little bit sharp. That one too. All right, we'll get this chestnut trimmed real quick. make that guy nice and short. Alrighty, foot number 2. Oh, have a nice big stretch. All right, number 3. Got this really lovely hoof pick here. It's got a nice sharp point on it, and it's got actual wire bristles instead of the usual plastic ones that you find at a feed store. And I gotta tell you, I love that thing. It makes cleaning out a foot really, really easy. So I got that one from the Barefoot Blacksmith in Australia, who actually is going through some pretty gnarly wildfires at the moment and had a good portion of his ranch burn up. So if I've got any other hoof nerds, or heck, if I've got any just horse owners that need a new hoof pick and kind of like the design of that one, that lovely gentleman could probably use all the business we could give him, even from over here across the pond. So, because he's going to have to buy hay, and he's got a whole farm full of cows, and he's got his own herd of horses and stuff like that. So they had some really nasty wildfires come through here just in the last couple weeks. So I will link that in the description for you guys. So you can see also she weights this side of her foot a little bit heavier when she walks, and you can tell that because this hoof wall is pretty dang short. There's a little bit more of it that stands up right here on the inside. It's a really good reason to make sure that your horses stay up on their trims, because right now at 8 weeks, you know, that's not that big of a difference. It's maybe 1/8 of an inch at worst, which isn't bad, but if you compound that by several more months, they can get really uneven, and it can skew the foot pretty bad because it's a little bit of a vicious cycle there. So if they already lean a little bit and their foot wears accordingly, and then that imbalance doesn't get corrected and they keep wearing crooked, it ends up growing really long on that side. And the amount of force that's placed wrongly on other parts of the hoof can make it go real sideways real quick. And then it takes quite a while to get them back underneath them sometimes. You can keep on top of all kinds of conformational defects just with consistent trimming. Down that corner off a little bit. She's getting a little restless. Soften the contours on the back of the frog there. Clean up that sharp little corner. Clean up that sharp little corner. Well, we'll touch that one more time with the rasp. That's a sharp little edge right there. All right, number 3. Get that tail untied. You guys step over for me, sweetie. Good girl. All right. Last one, babe. Can I have this one, sweetie? Good girl. can see a little bit of a similar growth pattern on this one to the other front foot. That little tiny bit of ridge, sole ridge right there in the front. Right in my eye, that was fun. Better than my mouth. That happens sometimes. That's always my least favorite. That bar trimmed. Bar number 2. We only take these down to sole level. So there are some people who get a little bit carried away. Barefoot trimmers especially. Get a little bit carried away taking those way down. We don't do that. Alrighty. Hello. This mare's a little bit confused today. I usually trim her at liberty. But didn't want to have to move myself and my camera tripod 100 times. So I have her tied up today and she's like, no, what's this all about? Working that bevel in with our nippers. You'll see we don't trim, we're trimming colored the pigmented hoof wall right there, but we're not trimming all of it. So there we leave a little bit of a ridge there. Show you guys that view. Keeping that bevel just a little bit on the inside of that foot. My rasp is getting a little bit dull. A little bit of extra bevel. Her founder was worse than that other foot, so we don't have to bevel this one quite as hard as we do that other one. But in spite of that founder episode, she's got fantastic feet. So, and that event, both of those events, because she foundered twice, grew out really, really nice. And her feet are nice and healthy. And I haven't gotten x-rays done in the last year or so, but they got done last fall. Last fall? Not this one that just happened. Fall of 2024. And it showed a little bit of rotation. That was a couple months after her last founder episode. But give her a break for just a second. Yeah, hi. Hi. Yeah, what do you think? But look at the concavity that we've got in this foot now. Like, that's beautiful. It's a really solid foot, even on a foundered horse. Almost can't even tell. Well, that's that. Quick little maintenance trim. Our old 10-year-old Mustang here. She's a very good girl, as per the usual. She's got lovely feet. She's one of my favorite horses to trim. Yeah. Yeah. That's her foot. She's part of my logo. This one right here. Do we see the resemblance? All right, thanks guys for coming along. Catch you next time.